Hello, everybody. Welcome to Towns of 505. Welcome to the channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're a lovely subscriber. Me and Bryer just got done recording Cream, the album Fresh Cream review, but I just thought of it right now. I just almost forgot to celebrate 50 years of Sheer Heart Attack. You're probably thinking, wasn't that yesterday, November 8th? I'm like, yeah, that's true, but sorry for the delayness of that. Uh, it was my birthday, so I wanted to celebrate that. But here we are now celebrating 50 years of Sheer Heart Attack. For each of these albums, I do want to do the 50th anniversaries, or at least close to them for each of the albums going forward. Sadly, for Queen One, I'm too late for that. Past my, I wasn't thinking about that at the time. But every other album going forward, we'll talk about the 50th anniversary for these albums. But of course, this isn't going to be an album review. Some point we will be doing a Queen series, most likely on Bryer's channel. So check his channel out. Got it, Bryer's Music Showcase. But Bryer, just give me your thoughts on your heart attack.
Yeah, so of course, I did a short on my channel just kind of talking about it, but I mean, this was kind of when the band was really starting to transition away from that. From the first two albums were a lot more focused on hard rock, progressive rock, that sort of sound, very heavy stuff. But here you still have that here. It hasn't fully gone away, but now this is when they finally have that commercial breakthrough that they've been wanting. Um, yeah, and going to the album itself, I mean, there's still such a diverse set of songs here. I'd say maybe not as cohesive as the first two, because this album has a bunch of different elements coming in. Like you're constantly wondering like where are we going from here. Um, so yeah, I mean, of course you have Brighton Rock, great opening song. Of course, that's where Brian does his famous guitar solo that he still does live. He still has a moment where he just does the guitar solo to that track. And then you have their big single, their breakthrough song. You have Killer Queen, of course, um, was also their breakthrough in the United States. Got to top 10. Um, yeah, and then you have the kind of medley with 10-minute Funster, Flick of the Wrist, Lily of the Valley. Very great set of songs here. I know Roger sings 10-minute Funster, which great, good that you got the song here. And then you have Now I'm Here, which is another nice, good rock song, kind of a nice early classic. They would play that song a lot. Side two is kind of where it really goes off the wall because again, you have such a wide variety of different sounds. Of course, you have In the Lap of the Gods. Just has this very grandiose feel, and of course, Roger Taylor gets to show off his high register, his high falsetto, which is very cool. And he even when you see him do it live, it's like, man, Roger was not human at that point. Like, and then you have Stone Cold Crazy, which kind of the first thrash metal song with just how fast paced and how heavy it is. Of course, Metallica took great inspiration from the track itself, and then they would actually cover it in like the 2000s. And I can't remember. I think they got a Grammy nomination for that cover. I could be wrong on that, but still awesome song. Dear Friends, good piano ballad, and then you have John's first ever solo composition with Misfire, which given the subject matter, kind of, definitely kind of weird of all people, John doing it, but still, it's a fun song, good upbeat track. And then you have good Bring Back Leroy Brown, which is this big, kind of this. I forgot what kind of music it is. I don't know, this ragtime, not ragtime. I'm
Much
not
more smalchy.
mulchy, yeah, something on that line. But again, it somehow works. They somehow play it off pretty well. Um, then you have "She Makes Me" by Brian. Really good song by him. I think it's pretty underrated. Not many people talk about that one. Good vibe to that one. And of course, you have the in the lap of the gods, not reprise, revisited. Saying a little different there. And yeah, that's a great closing song. It is a very great, nice, grand way to close the album. Just very, very good. And also, the overall melody to it, especially at the end, and then just closes out with this big crescendo. Very nice, very cool. Yeah, I've said in the past, like of the '70s albums, it's always been the album I kind of listen to the least, but it does not mean I don't like it. It's still a really great album, and to many people, it's like I've heard many people say this is their favorite Queen album, and I totally get why, because there's a lot of variety on this thing, and yeah, it's just a very great album from them. So yeah, very nice to celebrate its 50th anniversary.
Yes. As for my thoughts on the album, well, as Bryer said, this is their big breakthrough album. This album, it's the turning point in their discography from, hard rock, prog band to pop rock of like a night. This is like very pre a Night the Opera. This is like the closest they'll get until they get to the Night the Opera, where they start getting more grandiose, more theatrical. And I really like this for that. It's just a nice turning point album from those two periods. Some people might say it's the best because of that. You get that harder rock of the last two albums, but you also get some of the stuff you'll get from the next two albums. And yeah, I think this is an incredible album. This, for the longest time, this was in my top three. Not quite my top three now. I won't spoil where this album ranks now, but because I'm still doing my top 100 album series, but it's not as high as it used to be. But man, this is an incredible album. You get Brian Rock, get this heavy, definitely one of the heavier songs on the album with the guitar solo. Freddie Mercury's vocals are a little weird on this one, but I still enjoy the song quite a bit. Uh, definitely very heavy metal. Like I could imagine Sabbath doing something like this. Not with Ozzy Osbourne, but like with Dio or Tony Martin. Killer Queen, legendary song for a reason. It's the song that made them huge. Such an iconic song. She's a killer queen. Great song. Then you have the three-song medley. Tenement Funster. Hot Take Alert. It's probably my favorite of the three. I just love the energy of it. Ah, give me a good guitar. I love it. Flick of the wrist. Flick of the wrist. So good. Lily of the Valley. Great closing to that. Great three-song medley. Now I'm here. Amazing. You got that another great straightforward rock song. Side two, like Bryer said, goes off the walls. In the Laps of the Gods. It's such a crazy song. You got that. My favorite things on it. I see my life with you. Very weird, but I like it. Stone Cold Crazy, pre-metal, thrash metal. I love it. Being a Metallica fan. Dear Friends, great piano ballad, like Bryer said. Misfire, it puts a smile on my face for reasons. It's definitely quirky. Bring back that Leroy Brown, I think is pretty cool. She Makes Me has always been in my top five on this album. It's super underrated. And then the Revisited in the Lap of the Gods, another another amazing song. I love that explosion because after the explosion, it's like you put on Night the Opera. It's like to me, it's like the aftermath of the explosion. It's so cool and yeah, incredible album. You have any just final things you want to say about your heart attack before we close out?
So of course, we're at some point we'll do a series going more in depth on this album. And I think you pretty much summed it up. Again, it's definitely a good big step up in terms of their commerciality, and of course, it will kind of be this point onward where they're really starting to come into their own, and then just become become the biggest bands that we know today. And you could say it started with this album, so it definitely deserves respect for that.
Yeah. Final thoughts for me. To me, this is an essential album for them. Even if it's not like per se one of my absolute favorite Queen albums now, it's still. I mean, if you saw my score for the album, you'd be like, oh, I mean, still, it's a 10 out of 10 album for me. So there's that. But in terms of just an album full of variety and full of changes, this is definitely an album to check out. And yeah, incredible album. And well, thank you guys for watching this video. It was great celebrating this album. Next year, we'll be celebrating the big one at Night at the Opera. So hopefully we'll both be available to do that. But until next time, see you guys next time and have a good one. See ya.